One of the most controversial films of the 21st century, The Passion of the Christ, had a profound emotional impact on nearly everyone who watched it, not only for telling a well-known story, but for the striking realism of the violence inflicted upon Jesus. The film is filled with unforgettable scenes, but one in particular sparked intense discussion. The appearance of a woman holding a sinister and unsettling baby. Who was that child? What was its significance within the film? Directed by Mel Gibson, the film was released in 2004 and depicts the last 12 hours of Jesus Christ's life. Since its premiere, it has divided opinions. While many consider it a powerful and faithful portrayal, others criticize its excessive violence. The controversy was so intense that it led to accusations of anti-Semitism from the Jewish community, while some Christian groups called for a boycott. However, the production remained in theaters and became one of the most watched religious films in history. Jim Caviezel, the actor who played Jesus, faced immense challenges during filming. To prepare for the role, he had to learn Aramaic, Hebrew, and Latin, but the most astonishing were the incidents on set. During the scene where he carries the cross, he dislocated his shoulder. While being whipped, one of the lashes accidentally struck his back, causing a deep cut over 30 centimeters long. As if that weren't enough, he was also struck by lightning during filming, suffered from severe migraines, hypothermia, and even developed early-stage pneumonia. The extreme violence in the film did not go unnoticed and was harshly criticized by Italian filmmaker Franco Zeffirelli, famous for his 1977 film Jesus of Nazareth. He claimed that Gibson replaced Christian sentiment with a visual bloodbath, arguing that the crucifixion of Jesus should not be reduced to a mere display of physical suffering. However, Gibson's approach sought to depict Christ's ordeal in a raw and direct manner. Within Christianity, Jesus' suffering has always been a central theme. Catholicism, for example, is filled with powerful imagery, such as the bleeding heart of Christ, while Protestantism uses hymns to illustrate the Messiah's sacrifice. Gibson's vision, therefore, can be seen as an attempt to translate this narrative into a cinematic experience. But setting the controversies aside, let's return to the enigmatic scene. The woman holding a baby with demonic features. During one of the film's most impactful moments, this figure, played by Rosalinda Celentano, walks eerily with the child in her arms, watching Jesus suffering with indifference. The baby, portrayed by Davide Marotta, has an aged face and an expression of pure mockery. But what was the purpose of this scene? Many questioned whether this character has any biblical basis, or if it was purely a cinematic invention. The answer is that it is a symbolic element. Mel Gibson intended to send a message not just to the audience but to Jesus himself within the story. The woman represents Satan, while the child serves as a parody of the Christ child, a mocking antichrist, reveling in the suffering of the Son of God. The child's malevolent gaze and wicked smile reinforce the idea that, at that moment, darkness had the upper hand. The scene also visually contrasts the film's opposing forces. While Jesus and his mother, Mary, represent love and hope, the woman and her baby embody the opposite, contempt and spiritual corruption. By including this unsettling imagery, Gibson heightened the sense of despair and loneliness Jesus experienced in his final moments. It's worth noting that the film was not solely inspired by biblical accounts. Mel Gibson based part of the script on the visions of the German nun Anne Catherine Emmerich, who lived in the 19th century. Her experiences were documented in the book The Dolorous Passion of Our Lord Jesus Christ, published between 1819 and 1824, which detailed her mystical visions of the crucifixion. Anne Catherine was beatified by Pope John Paul II in 2004, the same year the film was released. Now we want to hear your opinion. Have you watched The Passion of the Christ? What did you think of this striking scene? Leave your comment.